the American Health Journal, bringing you the latest information on medicine, psychology, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention. This week, the American Health Journal presents a special report, Discoveries in Alternative Medicine, with your host, Roger Cooper.
Hello, and welcome to the American Health Journal special report on Discoveries in Alternative Medicine. I'm Roger Cooper. With the rising cost of health care in America, many are seeking alternatives, such as naturopathy, acupuncture, and Qigong. Qigong has its origins in China more than 5,000 years ago, and some reports suggest that today over 200 million people practice the art in China. And it's gaining popularity here in the United States, with claims that it will help reduce stress, chronic illness, and will lead to a more healthy life. We took our cameras to the East-West Academy of Healing Arts in San Francisco to meet Qigong Grandmaster, Dr. Effie Chow. Dr. Chow has been referred to by Qigong masters from around the world as the mother of Qigong in the United States. She is co-author of the book Qigong, Medical Healing from China, and is highly regarded by her students.
Effie Chow is a master healer.
She's trying to not just help you, but make the world a better place.
She understands people, and she inspires people.
Very gifted teacher and a true master of Qigong.
Dr. Deepak Chopra said of Dr. Chow, Effie Chow is one of the strongest energy-based healers and acupuncturist I have met, and I have seen with my own eyes some of the remarkable results of her Qigong work. In July 2000, President Clinton appointed Dr. Chow to the original 15-member White House Commission on Complementary and Alternative Medicine Policy. And she's the recipient of the Visionary of the Year 1997, the Humanitarian of the Year 1999, and the Visionary of the Decade 2000 awards. Recently, the American Association of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine honored her as one of the pioneers and leaders of Oriental medicine in the USA. We began with the basics and asked Dr. Chow to tell us what Qigong is.
Qigong is part of traditional Chinese medicine, and it formulates the basic principles of the function of traditional Chinese medicine. Qi means the energy or the vital life force, or the breath, simply. And Gong means to work it, to cultivate, or to manifest that exceptional vital life force. And so the balance and the harmony of this energy, the vital life force, is when one is healthy, and in the imbalance of it creates stress and creates imbalance, and therefore one can become diseased first of all, and then become diseased if we don't have those tools and the skills to deal with the first imbalances. So in Qigong then, it's an energetic principle of life. It is not just the exercise and the meditation, as many people think it is, but it is a way of life. Body, mind, spirit, and how one relates to nature. In the principles of traditional Chinese medicine and Qigong, we are not a separate entity from the whole of nature. And in science, we talk about the quantum physics, whereas we are, and we are everywhere. There is no boundary that can hold us in. And so when we're working with Qi, or the vital life force, that we emanate to out the whole universe. For example, every cell is a microcosm of the whole, and that every organ is also a microcosm of the whole. So therefore, if that is so, then we cannot be isolated. Our skin only appears that because we are operating at certain frequency levels of this Qi. And what is wonderful about Qigong and traditional Chinese medicine that is different is that we take everything as a whole, and in Western medicine. Now, I want to be sure that everybody understands I respect Western medicine. I'm a nurse myself, and I've seen things happening with Western medicine. The only thing is that it isolates components, and that is why Western medicine is having its failures now, because it's isolating too much, becoming too technological, becoming too, quote, professional, and leaving the heart and the mind and the spirit out of it, and or else it's separated. The minister administers to your spirit, and the psychiatrist administers to your mind, and this, physician deals with your body, and so that's what is different in traditional Chinese medicine, is that we deal with the total all at once. And that's why we're getting results. We're getting back to considering that the mind and the psyche and the emotions and the spirit probably are the most important components. And I have brought it into the hospitals and worked in the psychiatric unit. And what happened is that being a psychiatric nurse, so I utilize the principles of Qigong to work with my clients when I'm on shift to see how I can integrate it. And one time the doctors pulled me aside, said, "What are you doing?" Because when I came on staff, they were very, depressed and won't eat, etc. And I come on and my records show afterwards that eating was down in the sunroom socializing and chatting with the others and smiling and happy. And so they thought, "Did you use acupuncture on them or Qigong on them?" I said, "Not acupuncture, but I did use Qigong on them." And turn your head some more without turning your shoulders. And look way around and stretch that silver thread, drop the shoulders, and turn your head even more. I've synthesized the best of the West and the best of the East. I've made it easier for the people to learn because I grew up in the West, so I know what Western thinking is. It will facilitate the energy moving better and faster, and similar with the healing. And so the students learn very quickly. Even in a weekend that I have called the basic weekend, I would meet people years after. They said, "You know what? I still, after that weekend, I'm able to brush away the pain, and I can help my family." So now it depends on the individual. I mean, they're just going to come and listen and just and don't practice and everything. Well, this isn't guaranteed. Everybody knows, So, but if you're diligent and you want to practice, then you can develop yourself into healing for yourself, for others, and then through to the planet.
You're watching the American Health Journal presents Discoveries in Alternative Medicine.
Our program continues with our reporter Laura Windsor. She reports on the effects of Chow Qigong on the stresses of daily life.
For many of us, it seems that stress is never ending. Dr. Chow spoke with us about the varying levels of stress and how it affects our bodies and our daily lives.
People think that stress is something, chaotic or a problem. But Dr. Hanselia, who coined the word stress, the meaning of stress is the innate response of the individual to any given situation. So that means you decide to get up, that's stressful. You decide what to wear, that's stressful. And you decide what to eat, or whether you're going to go to work, whether you're going to go to play, etc. That's the innate response to any of those things. But ordinarily, we can cope with that because we have certain coping skills. However, if there's more, like for example, deciding whether you're going to apply for a raise-in job, that then goes beyond the regular stress, and you better have some extra skills to deal with that and to be able to relax while you're carrying out that process. So that's just a situation. Or someone gets sick in the family, and that's an additional trauma that is creating additional stress, so that you need further skills to cope with that. And that's what Qigong and Chinese medicine does. And Chow Qigong, we've been very successful with dealing with people who are stressed to the point of depression and emotional problems. And we have certain criteria. Again, I said we deal with what their life situation is. And so Qigong, though, is to balance the energy within the body. And when we talk about balancing the energy, from the Western standpoint, it means affecting the balance of the lymphatic system and increasing the circulation, proper increase in circulation and balance of your blood system. And therefore, if you have good blood circulation, you are bringing proper oxygenation to the cells and bringing good nutrient and also facilitating metabolism of the food. And then also proper circulation will help you to feel warmer. And oftentimes people get cold hands and cold feet. That's because your circulation is blocked. And so that we talk about then opening up the circulation. And we talk about certain energy channels being blocked and affecting certain signs and symptoms. So that stress can create all these minor problems, but they can be very major. For example, if you can't eat, you lose your appetite, or you can't sleep, or you get nervous, and with everything you kind of jump, you know, when ordinarily you don't, or that your bowels, irritable bowel syndrome, or pain, or now Western medicine even now is saying that stress is a precursor of all conditions, including cancer, heart, and diabetes, arthritis, asthma. So that stress as a factor can go right from very normal stress to excessive stress. And that's where then you equate it to the degree of the disease or the dis-ease, then moving on to disease.
It's been said that stress can make us grow old before our time. While we were talking to Dr. Chow about stress, we asked her about the benefits of Qigong with respect to anti-aging and vitality.
I don't like the word anti-aging because we grow old gracefully, let's say, instead of, you know, fearful of aging and et cetera. And then, of course, the ultimate is fearful of death. And so rejuvenation for me is at any level that you are and you have improvement. You look better, you feel better, you look younger. Yes, that's important, but not only that. And you have better mobility. So rejuvenate at all levels, even your sexual ability, sensual ability, and so at all levels of emotion, spirit, and physical. So that, for example, working with a post-stroke, a person who's paralyzed, you know, unilaterally, we're very successful in getting strokes walking and mobilizing again properly, not dragging their leg, you know, like you see a lot of rehab patients do, and that they're limping along, but actually getting them to walk properly. So that is rehabilitation. So for people who are well, then it's for them to get into better health and the optimum health. And so then along with it goes with improved looks. Most of my clients, whether it was coming in for rejuvenation, everybody said, wow, you look 10 years younger, you know, and you look so stately, and their posture and their breath. And so it's bringing oxygen to all the cells in the body, including their mental cells, their mind cells, and all the different organs, so that rejuvenation means for at all levels.
While we were on the subject of stress in our modern lives, we asked Dr. Chow if she could offer any tips for our audience.
One thing I have my people do is take an inventory of all the good things about oneself and make a file, because when we get into depression, when we get stressed out, and when we're facing the problems that we're facing, we can't think about anything good. And that's not a time. So when you have this file of something good about yourself, you can pull it out in times of duress. And when you start reading it, the energy starts to escalate, and you forget, and you say, wow, am I that? Yes, it is, you know, and you start to build. And the concept about thinking positively will start you spiraling upward instead of downward.
For Discoveries in Alternative Medicine, I'm Laura Windsor.
You're watching the American Health Journal presents Discoveries in Alternative Medicine.
Now we move to chronic illness. Dr. Chow explains the Chow Qigong approach to treating chronic illness.
Chronic degenerative conditions are classified as long-term problems or insidious problems that happens over a length of time. And things like chronic pain, cancer, heart problems, diabetes, arthritis, asthma even. And because they are the imbalance of a certain organ system, then what we do is we assess to see which system is out of balance, whether it's yin or yang, or it's too wet, it's too dry, or too much heat, or it's not enough, etc. And then we work to rebalance those particular energy systems. And it's simpler said than done, because we're all correlated, body, mind, and spirit.
In 1999, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C, which is kind of a tough cure. There's only one standard therapy, which is interferon, and it's coupled with a mutagen. Under the therapy, the viral load dropped down to undetectable. Once I stopped the therapy, it came back. About 5 years later, I tried it again. Same results, 48-week course of injections and pills. The virus went away. Once the therapy stopped, it came back. This last time around, I figured that this would be a good way to amplify the Western side by going with an Eastern therapy, which involved working with the healing channels, working with Qi, which is a natural healing energy, working with meditation, while doing the Western therapy, which was the interferon and ribavirin. But this time, I took that retest and the viral load was still undetectable.
My husband had a serious stroke, and for 7 years he was in so much pain that I couldn't even stroke him, couldn't touch him. He had 2 sessions with Dr. Chow, and after just 2 sessions he was 75% free, pain-free. After 3 sessions he was 90% pain-free. He was living a life with no hope. Nothing could help this pain. Now we have hope, we have joy in our life. The difference is absolutely amazing, what Dr. Chow and Chow Qigong has done for us.
I had been diagnosed with Graves' disease, and I had also developed edema in my ankles. I had been told that this thyroid condition had to be destroyed. I had to either have it taken out surgically, or they would have to treat it with radioactive iodine. I would not accept that, so I was looking for an alternative. So I went to see Dr. Chow, and she did one treatment on my ankles, and the edema was gone. So she suggested that I come to an introduction to Qigong, and so I did. And within 2 months of doing this Qigong, the meditation and the exercise, twice a day, every day, it was gone. The condition was cured. That was 15 years ago, and it has not come back.
It's very simple. If we concentrate on healing ourselves and getting our energy in balance and getting all our physical, emotional, spiritual, psychic abilities all into balance. Remember, we are the quantum physics concept. We influence everything, and everything influences me. And so therefore, starting from the internal kernel of the self, that if you are in balance, then you will influence others as well. And we have demonstrations to show that. And so that the others will feel better, And if you multiply that into the universal and the world population, that you can have a more healthy planet. And that goes to people's respect for the environment and stop polluting and respect all forms of life. And therefore, the planet will be healthier.
For more information on discoveries in alternative medicine, go to thedoctorshow.com.
Next, we wanted to find out if there was any scientific explanation for the energy work of Qigong. While in San Francisco, we talked with architectural physicist John Arava.
First of all, everything is energy. And how you differentiate a tree from a sidewalk, from ourselves, are the patterns of the energy. And if you change a pattern of energy, as they can do at Argonne Labs, Fermi Labs, some of the nuclear facilities, you can actually change an element. So it's been proven that everything is energy. Everything is connected. And energy influences energy. That's how you get, in the old television sets, you get the dot to move across a screen to form a picture, because one energy field is influencing another energy field. And about 40% of the food you eat and the air you breathe is converted into electrical activity in the body. So you have a bioelectric field, and you are able to see this energy. If you are exposed to other energy fields, you can actually see the field that you generate. And it gets into a lot of other areas. For a period of time, I was a consultant to the Pentagon on this type of stuff. And so what she's doing is very, very real. This is a fact. And as Effie was doing demonstrations, and others are able to do it, you can actually drain a person of energy where they notice that they are weak and there is no explanation. And if it weren't that way, medical instruments wouldn't work, because they measure your energy field. When you're having an EKG done, it's measuring your energy field, generated, electric field, electromagnetic fields. So that's actually verification that that's how it works.
Very little research into Qigong can be found in the West, but extensive studies are being conducted by international author, physicist, and research professor Dr. Konstantin Korotkov of Leningrad, Russia. Dr. Korotkov used his instruments to measure the energy field, and said of Dr. Chow, her energy field is one of the strongest I have ever seen in practice. Professor Emeritus Rustam Roy is a PhD alumnus of Penn State, who's been on its faculty for 60 years. He founded Penn State's Materials Research Laboratory and Science, Technology, and Society programs. He is one of the world's leading materials scientists. He has received more high honors from his peers around the world than anyone else in Penn State's history.
And we at Penn State put on a conference with 500 people from all over the world. And we said, can this be true? Well, we established the facts that these are true. That these facts that people can do this, it's true. We looked at other things where we said, can Qigong achieve such breakthroughs as far as Western medicine is concerned? And yes, we found case after case. So she's worked with very senior people in the country, helping them regain consciousness from given up for dead, and she has literally, personally demonstrated the most remarkable healing vectors emanating at the human intention plane. That is the words we use, human intention. Effie Chow radiates a human healing intention, and it really works.
You're watching the American Health Journal presents Discoveries in Alternative Medicine.
Finally, we wanted to ask Dr. Chow to tell us how Chow Qigong can help us in our daily lives.
Our Western lifestyle is harried and it's rushed and it's like, let's get things now. So that creates a lot of stress. So in Chow Qigong, we're advising people to take a deep breath. Take 2, 3 deep breaths. When you're faced with decision, you're faced with making something immediately. What it does is that it settles you down and gets you into a perspective that is clear and peaceful and calm, and other people will feel it. So if you do that, you'll also heal yourself better. The other is the positive mental attitude. You can either look at things and complain about it, or you can look at the better side. And the other thing is that our focus should go back to your family, not what we can produce or do, and how great an accolade we can get, or all of that, that you strive to do for the glory of it. Come right back down to valuing family and friends and the wealth of all of that, not the monetary wealth. The other thing is that even just a few minutes of exercise will do you miles of good. Even a few minutes. Most people say, oh, I don't have time. You have to schedule it in. Even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but consistency. But it's better if you do Chow Qigong an hour, But also the meditation, that you take a few minutes every day to get into yourself, and then be appreciative of all the good things that you have. Gratefulness is very important.
When our crew returned from interviewing Dr. Chow, they told us the thing they remembered most was that Dr. Chow always tells people to live each day with a minimum of 8 hugs and 3 belly laughs. Thanks for joining us for our special report on Chow Qigong. For more information, you can go to our website at thedoctorshow.com or call 800-303-3200 or contact the East-West Academy of Healing Arts from their website at eastwestqi.com. For Discoveries in Alternative Medicine, I'm Roger Cooper.
If you would like to order a tape or a DVD of today's American Health Journal, please call us at 1-800-303-3200.